Hello everybody. Today in this video I'm going to go over all of the different ways that I know how to make nitric acid. This video is going to come as more or less of a successor to my original nitric acid video. I just wanted to update some stuff. I'll have my original nitric acid video and my concentrating dilute nitric acid video in the description, along with Nurd Rage's guide for nitric acid. He's a lot more thorough with it than I'm going to be today. Mine is going to be more or less of a quick overview. But without further ado, let's get into it. To start us off, I'm going to go back to what I did in my first video. I added around 80 grams of potassium nitrate to 100 milliliters of hydrochloric acid, followed by around 35 grams of copper to get the reaction going. And instead of using glassware, I just bubbled it through with a little pump. Here are some pictures of the various stages and stuff that it went through. By the next morning, it was pretty much finished, and I was just running some air through to get the nitrogen monoxide out, and it made some orange gas. However, my pump had turned off at one point and got seriously messed up by the nitrogen dioxide. So this is just to show this stuff is no joke. And now I have my product. I have my nitric acid. I estimated it to be around 10%, which is not very good. If I was going to do this again, I think I'd stick to my using glassware due to I wasn't able to keep my pump running super well. It was a hard time sealing the container, but yeah, I'd definitely do it in glassware again. My byproduct has a lot of copper chloride and potassium chloride in it, so I might try and reprocess it. We'll see. But yeah, here's my product. Here is a second way to make nitric acid. I'm going to measure out around 80 grams of potassium nitrate onto my scale here. There's 80 grams of potassium nitrate. We'll put that in my round bottom flask right here. Next, I will measure out 60 milliliters of sulfuric acid and add it to my potassium nitrate. Now would be the time to wear gloves because sulfuric acid on skin is not very nice. And there we are, 60 milliliters of the almost syrupy sulfuric acid. And now we're going to add that into our potassium nitrate. So what this is doing here is the potassium nitrate is reacting with the sulfuric acid. The potassium nitrate is becoming potassium sulfate, or bisulfate right now, and the sulfuric acid is becoming nitric acid. It's doing a double replacement reaction, I believe. Okay. Should probably get this corked up. There we go. No nitrogen dioxide out yet. If you look closely, you can see a kind of orange gas in there. See if I can get some paper for that. Yeah, that is nitrogen dioxide. Very, very bad to breathe. If you are doing this, do it outside or under a fume hood. I'm doing it inside, but I have a fan that I'm gonna go, but that definitely isn't safe, so I also got myself a respirator. So please use some common sense. Don't get nitric acid in your lungs. It is not good. I have insulated it in some sand so that not insulated it, the sand is the conductor. But what's it doing right now is that my hot plate will heat the steel skillet that I have, which will heat the sand, which will more evenly heat my flask. So I'm gonna set up my horribly cursed distillation setup and then come back. You may have also noticed that I took my gloves off now. This is because nitric acid is very not nice to have on gloves, especially the super concentrated stuff that's gonna be in here. So just make sure
if you're doing this, that you have some water or something to flush it with nearby in case the worst happens. Also, always wear some stuff on your eyes while dealing with anything like this. So I'm gonna set up my distillation setup and then I'll be back. And now, feast your eyes upon this absolute abomination. We have a round bottom flask on my heater. There's some nitrogen dioxide in there. It's going through my distillation column, which is not the right type, and I'm technically using it wrong. I got water going from the bottom up, which eliminates it like draining itself, which is kind of good. But yeah, it's doing all this, and then I have the collection flask here. But that's very pretty, actually. Anyway, anybody who knows what this equipment is, I am sorry. I'm sorry that I'm absolutely butchering it like this. But it works, and that's all that matters to me. And it hasn't exploded yet either, so that's good. All right, we've started getting some nitrogen dioxide out. So we've set up our fan, and we got my gas mask on standby in case I need it. But yeah, that would be our nitrogen dioxide. A little bit of that's gonna come through before it starts actually distilling our acid over. So it's just something that happens. So this is more of a side thing and an idea that I had. Oh wow, that's really dark. I'm probably about to get a lot of it coming over. But why waste the nitrogen dioxide? I'm bubbling it through some water right now. It should make some low concentration nitric acid in there, which should be kind of cool. But wow, that is dark. Bright red, definitely releasing nitrates and nitrogen oxides. So I figured out why I was going dark. It was absolutely destroying this bung. So I slid this up some more, and hopefully the nitric acid won't be coming in contact with the stopper. I'm probably gonna have to let the first couple drops go into this dilute solution that I have. Oh no, that's bad. All right, so for everybody who thought I had a horrible accident, nothing bad actually happened. I just shattered this funnel and my cooling supply fell off because I had it in front of the fan, like an idiot. Well, we know not to make that mistake anymore. Besides that, we just got some water splashed around, completely soaking this. Otherwise, everything's going fine. Oh, that's nasty. Hopefully that clears up or oxidizes, one of the two. So we have our contaminated nitric acid creeping slowly through, but if you look closely here, that means that we are just distilling. So that is actually really good. It means it's gonna go pretty fast. And we're getting some more clear fluid out of here. Hopefully soon it'll flush all this black out into my lower concentration stuff. We shall see. It has crept more down, and now it looks like olive oil. Chemistry never ceases to amaze me. Looks like it is finally starting to clear up though, so it's not completely ruined. Plus, this isn't too much volume, so it'll probably only mess up our solution a little bit. And I'm gonna let probably most of the stuff in the condenser right now run into here. Oh, there we go. Looks like we're getting some of our first drops in there. And yep, there we go. It's making it kind of dark, it's not too bad. Yeah, we'll let this flush through a bit. I think about now I'm gonna start actually collecting my nitric acid. This doesn't need to be perfect, completely pure stuff. I have some other plans for it. So, time to switch out the flasks. We have our flasks switched out, and that is fuming nitric acid. So that is very concentrated. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of my dilute stuff in here, just to knock down the fumes a little bit. Oh, that was a lot. Okay. Yeah, definitely don't touch any of that, and make sure you have your eyes thoroughly protected. I'm gonna grab this and set it closer, but yeah, we're collecting some very concentrated nitric acid. Okay, so I've let it collect a little bit and we flushed it out enough to start getting our nitric acid. It is still a little bit off color, but this is pretty much what it should look like. Nice yellowy clear, and yeah, we're just collecting. So it's just doing its thing. Haven't broken anything else yet, which is good. Cooling system is still working, and I don't smell much nitrogen dioxide, so fan's doing a good job. Ah yes, the rain has arrived. It's been running for a while longer. It has cleared up a lot, and now instead of being black, it just looks like piss. But you have around 20 milliliters of very concentrated nitric acid. It's still fuming when we get a drop. Come on, there we go. Yeah, some fumes. But it's working out pretty well so far. Nothing has fallen over. And I guess I'm just gonna keep on going until I'm not getting anything else. So I'll do that, or if something neat happens, I'll come back. So it's still raining and I've turned off my heating. I want to let everything cool down a little bit, and I think we're gonna take this super concentrated stuff as our product, just to have the super ridiculously concentrated stuff, and then we're gonna add our like more dilute stuff with the gunk in it back into our flask to just put some more water and fluids in there so it can mix everything together. And then we're gonna run it through again and see if we can get some less concentrated but more product. So we're gonna do that. I think we're kind of nearing the end somewhat. My collection flask is looking very spicy right now. I'm gonna stay away from that. But looks like we have about 20 milliliters of very concentrated nitric acid. So yeah, more running. I'm just gonna kind of bake this thing dry and then we'll see. So it has cooled down. I had some more water and set it up to get some more, still gonna be fairly concentrated, but a little bit more dilute nitric acid. Here is our ridiculously concentrated 20 mils. And you can see if, let me see, how can I do this? If you blow air on it, all the nitrogen dioxide comes off. So I probably want to put this away. And this is how you can make some ridiculously concentrated nitric acid if you wanted to, but I think I'm gonna add it into my normal azeotropic nitric acid. So it's gonna up the concentration of this, dilute down this a little bit. It'll be better and I won't have to worry about it doing this when air goes on it. Okay, yeah, that's why we have this. So I will be putting this away. Well, that looks like an evil concoction from the pits of hell now. It's not hot, but it's warm. I think we're gonna put this away now. Might add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in there at some point to knock out all the nitrogen oxide. But until then, this is going to be stored. After all that work, I have some more nitric acid and a dirty piece of copper. Here will be my demonstration. Definitely not as vicious as some highly concentrated stuff, but it is bubbling. And it's definitely etching the copper and eating away at it a bit. It should turn blue. I'll leave that to do whatever it's doing. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look really close, there's a huge crystal now in the bottom of my boiling flask. Most of this is going to be potassium bisulfate, not potassium sulfate. So what you can do for a third way to make nitric acid is add even more potassium nitrate into here. I wouldn't add a lot, but you could recover some more nitric acid from the bisulfate in here by adding more, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm probably not gonna add too much, but yeah, we're gonna do that. Ideally, you'd wanna take it out and crush it up and then mix it back together and put it in. But this looks pretty well stuck in there, so I'm just gonna add the potassium nitrate on top and start it heating again. Let's see, how's this done? Yep, it is definitely etched our copper. Hasn't really turned blue, but don't worry, I'll definitely have a demonstration of what high concentration stuff will do to copper at the end of the video. So let's put some more salt in here and combine the two salts into acid. Here we are, 40 grams of potassium nitrate, and we'll add that to our flask and start everything heating up. Wasn't exactly expecting this, but I guess it makes sense. It is very concentrated stuff coming through. This is what highly concentrated nitric acid is supposed to look like without all the gunk and stuff in it. I had to wrap this up in tape, and you can see that it is not very happy. So we don't have a perfect seal, hence the fan, but it is moving through and we are getting some of our products. Don't think we have any really in here yet, but it's coming. I just got to keep it sealed. So it's been running a little bit. I have collected maybe 10 milliliters so far. My bung has started to break down, but I'd like to show you what's actually happening in here. And it's kind of crazy. I'm probably gonna turn the heat down. But look at that. That is salt bubbling together. So we are going to turn the heat down and then wash everything in here with some more water. Probably add it into here too, so this won't be completely concentrated, but it'll be pretty good. But yeah, this has been 3 different ways to make nitric acid. One with potassium nitrate, copper, and hydrochloric acid. Another with sulfuric acid and potassium nitrate. And now this one with potassium bisulfate from our second method that was produced, making more. So, yeah. But now I should probably show everybody what this stuff will do to some copper. There we go, this looks like a nice random piece. Let's grab some of this. A couple drops should be enough. Observe. Yeah, that is all very nasty gas. Let's get that out of the way. But yeah, immediately makes the copper almost white, and alright, I'm gonna stay a little bit further away from that. But immediately makes all the copper white and makes some copper nitrate as it reacts. So yeah, this stuff is nasty and you do not want to get it on you. But that has been 3 different ways to make nitric acid. Hope you guys liked it, and I apologize for this accursed abomination. Anyway, have a great day, people. Goodbye.